Well, new at 6, to enforce or not to enforce? That's the question for sheriffs around the state. The number of top county law officials who say they will not actively enforce the state's new gun law, the SAFE Act, is growing. So what does that mean for gun owners and those who break the new law? Well, Capitol correspondent Pat Bailey talked with several people close to the story. He joins us now with details from our Capitol Bureau. Hi, Pat.
Yeah, hey, Greg. A handful of sheriffs now around New York State say they don't personally agree with the state's gun law known as the SAFE Act, and because of that, they vow not to actively enforce it. So what happens when a personal belief interferes with a law? Well, I asked one sheriff about that specific question. Meantime, Saratoga County Sheriff candidate Jeff Gildersleeve was the most recent to make headlines in this matter. He said if he wins, he would not enforce the state's gun law, and this is not just a Saratoga County headline at all. Gildersleeve joins a list of other sheriffs around New York who have said similar things. Now, sheriffs in these 5 counties have reportedly said they do not agree with the law, so they will not actively enforce it. Albany County Sheriff Craig Apple is another one who says publicly that he is opposed to the law. However, Apple says he will enforce the law because he has to. Other sheriffs should as well, because if they don't, it could lead to more legal trouble.
Well, I mean, you're looking at a situation as if you told somebody, you're telling your men not to enforce a law, and they make an arrest and they bring that person in and the supervisor says, no, you got to let them go. Now you've got a false arrest situation. You've got civil liability. It's a lot of exposure out there. I mean, the laws are there for a reason. I just feel that we should follow them. I mean, I understand that there's other people that disagree with that, but it's a law. And as long as it's a law, I feel it's my duty to enforce it.
Governor Andrew Cuomo has been asked about this matter, these groups of sheriffs, before, and even more so now in the recent weeks with this list as it continues to grow of those coming out opposing the SAFE Act. Now, the governor is on record as saying, quote, it's not really up to law enforcement to pick and choose what laws they like and what laws they don't like. That obviously would be a dangerous and frightening precedent. Enforce all the laws. That is their job. End quote. And again, that coming from Governor Andrew Cuomo. Now, I talked with an official at the New York State Sheriff's Association. I asked him about their candidates and their current sheriffs coming out and saying all this. He told me that there's a difference between a sheriff vowing to not enforce the law and a difference between a sheriff vowing to not actively enforce the law. What does that mean? Well, he said most of the sheriffs will enforce the laws against violators of the SAFE Act if something comes across their desk, but he said they will not actively go out and search for violators of this new law. Now, I was told the Sheriff's Association does in fact encourage all of their members to enforce all of the laws, and I should mention that the Sheriff's Association is leading a massive lawsuit against the SAFE Act. Live in the Capitol Bureau tonight, Pat Bailey, CBS 6 News.